It's time for our weekly conversation with pride of the Jaguars running back Fred Taylor. It is Monday Night Football. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Jacksonville Jaguars coming up in week 5. The Jags at 3-1. The Chiefs have found their way back to 2-2. And this is a huge matchup, Fred, and I think all of Jacksonville is excited.
Yeah, man, huge matchup. All of Jacksonville is excited, and all of Jacksonville should be in Everbank Stadium or Everbank Field Stadium, one of those names tonight. And I'm looking forward to it, man. It's been a while, and I'm sure the fans are looking forward to it. So, man, I don't believe it's been that much excitement in the air, this point in the season in some time. So it's gonna be an interesting matchup.
It's been a number of years. I would guess 2017, early 2018. They were hot early and then it just kind of
Right.
collapsed. That might be the last time this early in the season there's been this much excitement. But this team is really showing some personality here. Obviously, the defense is wrecking things with 13 takeaways, leads the league. But the Chiefs come in with only one giveaway all season. It's Patrick Mahomes on the other side and their band of skill players. I mean, this is. What is the number one priority for the Jaguars defense this week against Mahomes and the Chiefs offense?
Well, I would say pressure. Continue that theme. It's going to be pressure. Patty Mahomes, man, he's the best to do it. He's the best in the NFL now. Obviously, with his rap sheet, going back to the amount of Super Bowls he's been in, the amount of Super Bowl he's won, and the way he just manages the game. He's not a Bryce Young, and he's not a C.J. Stroud. He's not a Jake Browning. He's not Brock Purdy. He's none of those guys who the defense has faced. And quite naturally, he's going to protect the football. He's not going to put his team in bad situations. So, even with that pressure, he would give up a sack more so than a turnover. So it's going to be a challenge in that sense in itself because they are going to protect the football. So now I think on the flip side, when the opportunistic, style play that we've seen is minimized a bit, if that's the case, then the offense, they're going to have to do their part, which, they have shown some glimpses in these first four matchups. The best being that the 86 yard, was it 86 or 89-yard 14 play drive, just to see the adversity they had overcome and to be able to go down and punch it in. I believe that was the highlight of the season for the offense. So they're going to have to play that style of football where you're going to have to convert on third down. Trevor's going to have to be the first round pick, Trevor, and not this Trevor Lawrence that we're waiting to see. He's going to have to be that guy in order to beat that guy, right? A couple years back, I remember they had that matchup in the playoffs. I believe the Jaguars had an opportunity to win that game. A couple calls here or there didn't go our way, but that was then. This is now. It's a better Jaguars team, I believe, more put together, and the team that executes the best and penalizes the least. I believe we're going to win the game.
Fred, you're talking about the offense there and the execution needed by the quarterback, but I mean, it really starts up front with this group right now. They're running the ball very well. Even the wide receivers and tight ends are blocking. That helps break big runs that obviously happened last week with ETN. But is this, and when Kansas City's defense is in a favorable situation for pass rushing, and they'll light up blitzes, and Spagnuolo doesn't mind like really mixing up the quarterback's head. You don't want to get in those situations. So, can this offensive line control the defensive line for the Chiefs? There's some big names over there.
It's going to start with Chris Jones. I mean, it's no secret. A couple years ago, I was hoping his holdout was going to allow him to miss the season opener. That game we played him early in the year, he came and he just wreaked havoc. Sometimes he's a one-man, wrecking crew. So it's going to start with making sure there's a hat on him, and then everything else kind of goes out. But yeah, I mean, if those guys up front can hold out, and one of the best ways to do that is to do what they've been doing very well this year, and that's running the football. I think they've been consistent in that, along with being consistent and protecting Trevor. So, but it starts with the run game, obviously. And if Travis Etienne can duplicate the performance he had a week ago, where he came out, hit him big with a big play, the 48-yarder, and then he had some consistent, spurts in there on his way to 16 for a buck, 30 or something like that. So if they can run the ball, they won't allow that pass rush just to tee off on Trevor when it's, passing situations.
Fred Taylor with us, proud of the Jaguars running back. You've had some Monday night moments in your career. What does this kind of stage mean for players in that locker room, especially ones who might not have been able to perform on it before?
Well, first of all, JP, Monday night is this. Sunday is this. So I brought the spotlight because it's Monday night. So, and that's exactly what it is, man. You're under the lights. The whole entire, country gets to see you. And even the people on the international level that's up that time of morning that just absolutely loves NFL football, they have an opportunity to use their VPN networks and get some illegal NFL football. So it's the biggest of the biggest, man, minus the Super Bowl and sometimes the playoffs. So, there'll be, a few times in there where, guys like the Travis Hunters of the world, they don't know what to expect. They played in some big games in college, but this is the biggest of their young career for a lot of the rookies, I should say. They showed two and will also get that same experience, much like my first Monday night game came against interstate rival, not necessarily rival, but interstate team in the Miami Dolphins. I heard about it a lot throughout the week. Didn't know. I was like, it's just another game. No, it's Monday Night Football. It's a different energy. The fans are tailgating all day after work. They're a little drunker when it's kicked off, and that's what it is to sum it up. So it'd be a great matchup because it's the Chiefs on top of the whole Monday night hype. It's the team that everybody despises because they've been the best team in football the past 8 years since Patrick Mahomes entered the building. So I'm looking forward to it, though, man. We don't get these often. I believe a week ago they put the league on notice by beating a really solid 49ers team, and they have an opportunity to display what they're really made of. So welcome to Duval, man. It's time to go.
As you said it, if we don't get these often, well, if they start winning some of these, they might get them more often. That's how it
100%.
works.
Yeah, that's exactly how it worked. The NFL has to be able to put something on display, and and even small markets can get love if you go out there and win. And winning changes everything, and that's why the Jags are going to win this game
Mm.
because they're going to let the league know that we want more of these. They're going to like the way it tastes, and hopefully they can get a few games flexed to, maybe not Monday night this year flex, but later Sundays, Sunday nights, as the season goes, things can kind of shift in your favor. But you got to create that. You got to bring that energy. So we're asking the fans to make sure you're in the bank going crazy out there and help us get this win.
Last one for you today, Fred. It sounds like you're all in, clearly, with the way this team's
Always
played
all
this year.
in.
But it also feels like the players are all in behind their head coach. And we kind of felt that earlier in the year, but then last week happened in San Francisco and all the stuff after the game with the defensive coordinator for San
Yep.
Francisco.
Yep.
A lot of players didn't realize it until the locker room because they weren't there. But then hearing from players this week, they're like, we love that energy. We love that, you're not going to mess with us mentality. He's protected his team and his coach. That goes a long way, right? I mean, this has got to carry a lot of weight in this building, what Liam Cohen and his leadership has done so far.
Yeah, it's top down, yeah, and really it's about buying in, right? I think the one thing that stood out to me the most, JP, when I went to New England, minus the rich tradition and all of sports around that region, was how much everybody in the building bought into Coach Belichick's philosophy. no one questioned a thing. They bought into it. And I don't know if it was just Bill or was just winning or a combination of the two, but they bought in, and no one questioned, his authority and what he sat on the table. There are a few times where I've been in the building where guys weren't all the way bought in because there were some gray areas. So I think when the coaches are there to let the players know, look, this is how it is. This is how it's going to be. This is what you're going to get from me. I'm going to show you how passionate I am for you guys and about this team and what we're trying to accomplish, then the players follow that. They follow that sort of energy and that sort of leadership. It's like a moth to a flame, right? Yeah, that's the saying, the moth to a flame. Or, a moth to a spotlight, So, I mean, I love it. I love that energy, man. I was fired up when I saw it. I can only imagine how they feel in the locker room when they, caught a whiff of it. So everybody's all in on the same page as what it's about. Better go and get this win and back it all up, though.
Fred, it's funny you mentioned the Patriots year because 2009, that season, was the last time the Jaguars beat the Kansas City Chiefs. They've
Oh, wow.
lost 8 consecutive matchups, and let's hope that ends on Monday night. Always a pleasure, Fred. We'll talk to you.
It's going to end. It's over tonight in the bank.
It's a lock from you.
Well, I got to be careful with locking these things, but my optimism, I'm going to never say the Jags going to lose. I don't care what it is. I'm just not built that way.
Thank you, Fred.
All right, baby. Later.